On behalf of our faculty and staff, welcome to our virtual graduation for the incredible class of 2020 at the School of Social Policy and Practice at the University of Pennsylvania. Welcome to all of our amazing graduates, all who love them, and all who have helped them get to this particular moment in their lives, including our incomparable faculty and staff. Our graduates have spent the last 2 months adapting to a truly unimaginable landscape, marked by dramatic changes in response to the catastrophic public health emergency caused by the novel coronavirus COVID-19. When you began your journey at SP2, none of us thought it would end with a virtual graduation. I am grateful to you and impressed by the work you have done to adjust to the pandemic and to achieve your goals. Of course, I would much rather be with you in person, celebrating together, meeting your families and significant others, and admiring your amazing accomplishments. As we well know, however, safety and health guidelines prohibit us from enjoying our customary graduation traditions. In this context, I want to offer 3 pillars for you to take with you as you begin the next part of your professional journey. And the 3 pillars are you, are, SP2. U stands for uncertainty. Our world is dramatically different than the one we want in this moment. We have grave concerns about the current and future well-being of populations that already bear the brunt of uneven structural inequities. We are fearful about how the virus will impact our loved ones. We are finding our way through an extremely difficult time marked by dramatic uncertainties. Unfortunately, in this time of the greatest uncertainty any of us has ever encountered, we also know that the human brain prefers certainty. Researchers have shown a connection between uncertainty and anxiety, especially if the implications of the uncertainty are grave. You are leaving us to find your place in the most uncertain time of our lives. I'd like to offer a context for reframing that uncertainty, the uncertainty that's all around us. Try to remember that even without a pandemic, the very work you are signing up to do is always characterized by uncertainty. Successful social policy and practice strategies are necessarily adaptive to uncertain and constantly evolving circumstances. The characteristic of uncertainty that marks our current landscape is not going to be going away. You will work in nonprofits that will have financial disruptions. You will work in agencies that alter their mission in another direction. Uncertainty is going to be a part of your professional life. You can also be certain that your professional journey will require you to adapt to unpleasant and anxiety-producing uncertainty. This is where R comes in. R stands for resilience. An essential element of your role in social policy and practice work is resilience. There will be clients who do not commit to treatment plans, organizations that behave in irrational ways, legislation that seems destined for implementation, only to not pass in the end. You will need resilience and determination to move social policy and practice agendas forward. It's also important to point out the connection between the anxiety-producing condition of uncertainty and the countervailing impact of resilience. The 2 processes can be intertwined. The uncertainty you will necessarily encounter can be made more manageable by resilience and commitment to your goals. The quest for resilience is lifelong. It involves encountering a stress-producing situation, moving through that experience using skills and knowledge such as those you have learned here. You will then return to a steadier state, further strengthened by the agency you have just exhibited. Just as uncertainty will be with you for your entire professional career in social policy and practice, so will resilience be a countervailing force that helps you cope and respond more positively to the noxious nature of uncertainty. And this is where SP2 comes in. Here at the School of Social Policy and Practice, we have taught you the building blocks needed to thrive in this environment. You have developed skills and knowledge in your practica, internships, coursework, interactions in the classroom, and more. You have learned that you will necessarily be the same as and different from your colleagues, your clients, your context. In order to make the changes that are needed to enhance social policy and practice, you must develop the capacity to cope with uncertainty, and you must also empower yourself with resilience. You know how to encounter uncertainty. You know how to respond to it. You know how to grow from it. You have learned all of this here at SP2. As you leave us, I want to affirm that the work you will be doing is extremely challenging, increasingly complex, and most critically needed. Your satisfaction in this work will be dependent in part on your ability to ground your efforts in a conceptual framework or value system. You will need to tolerate ambiguity and uncertainty. You will need to bounce back after setbacks with individual clients, organizations, policymakers, legislators, and more. I know you can and will be able to do this work. I will carry with me the privilege of having shared your time at SP2. I look forward to expanding that gift in the coming years as you remain in touch with us here at SP2. We want to continue the journey with you. We want to celebrate your many successes and understand you when the going gets tough, as it inevitably will from time to time. You will be reassured by the knowledge that you have been well trained to move through the challenges of uncertainty and more that you're going to encounter. We are honored to have you as an enduring and impactful part of our community. You are SP2. I send my most sincere congratulations to all of you and to all who have helped you get to this moment in your lives. I look forward to staying in touch. Congratulations.
Our first graduate, Markeisha Lawrence, wrote her dissertation on crossing tracks and ponds, preparing youth for a global society. Markeisha has a tenure-track position at the Graduate School of Social Work at the University of Denver. Our second graduate, Viviana Vu, wrote her dissertation on the promises and challenges of community philanthropy. She has her position as a tenure-track assistant professor at the University of Massachusetts Amherst in the School of Public Policy. To both of you, my heartiest congratulations. I know how hard you've worked and you've achieved a lot of things. Not only did you defend your dissertation successfully, you published successfully, you were involved in teaching, and for all this, I wish you all the best in your future careers as academics, as academic leaders, and I know you'll do brilliantly well. Well done.
I want to congratulate the 2017 DSW cohort. This has been an unprecedented year in many ways, not only from the environmental effects, but also changes within the program. But we've been able to move forward and achieve new things. Jeff has been great in continuing the program. Melanie has helped enormously, and we have a new person taking over, Jackie Parker, who's been working with me and well knows the program and will move it forward. I know that you will do great things. You have new knowledge. People have already gotten new jobs as a result of their new knowledge, and I know that in this time when your services are needed even more, you will be prepared to move forward and do great things. Thank you.
Greetings. I am Dr. Jackie Tara Washington, 2017 cohort in the SP2 DSW program. In April, I defended my dissertation entitled Examining the Historical and Present Age Impact of Racism in the United States of America, empowering social work students to effectively discuss racism and provide best practices with African Americans and other clients of color. I identify as an African American and Choctaw Native American, a Christian who believes in God, a professional actress and vocalist, a mental health therapist, a licensed clinical social worker, a mom, grandmama, daughter, sister, aunt, friend. Now, someone else might add middle age to that list, but I don't usually think about age as part of my identity. However, as I introduce myself with all of these intersects, and I now include a doctor of social work, I can't help but to recognize that I accomplished this incredible achievement at this time of my life. I hope it will encourage others my age, younger, older, to do the same, or to strive for whatever their desires might be. So, while I'm wishing the absolute best to all of my Quaker graduates on this wonderful day as we celebrate the accomplishments of all of our dedicated, enriching, and diligent work, I'm also encouraging those of you who are considering returning to school to further your education to acknowledge any obstacles or fears, and then make the choice to accept that challenge. I believe you will not regret your decision. These are indeed different times for so many in the U.S. and around the world. And many are feeling fear and sadness and anger and disbelief. My hope for each and every person in this world is inner peace, strength, hope, wisdom, fortitude, to choose peace, to engage inner strength and connect with the strengths of others, to be wise in our choices, and to be determined to stand with integrity and forge ahead with hope. As we began this program years ago, who would have known we'd be graduating via Zoom? Of course, we're disappointed that we could not walk or be robed or get to hug each other and celebrate as most of us imagined we would experience at the end of our academic journey. We get to acknowledge that disappointment. This pandemic has, however, taught us how to put things into perspective. We also have the opportunity to be grateful that in the face of this pandemic, here we are, celebrating the rewards of late nights, classes after a full day's work, managing families and work and schools all at once, and a myriad of other obstacles we were able to overcome. So, to our families and friends who so lovingly supported us through times that seemed insurmountable, to the faculty and staff, including administrative coordinators and all the departments and personnel, our chairs, committees, deans, and other administrators who so diligently tended to our academic needs, to everyone who worked so tirelessly to make this happen, this day, this moment, and to those in our cohorts as we helped each other in the many ways that we needed throughout this journey, and to ourselves, who made the decision to further our education and to focus on our desires to effect positive change within humanity, and stayed committed to this end. Thank you. Well done. And congratulations!
If the regularities in the social, cultural, and political are what we characterize as certainties, then what do we make of and do about the uncertainties? We began this academic year with our normalized expectations. Each of you arrived to campus ready to dive into the MSSP curriculum. Many of us were no longer shocked by the daily policy-making tweets of the current President of the United States. We read and paid attention to how the Democratic primaries were shaping. We watched intently and at a certain point got tired of the ongoing impeachment hearings. Eventually, we began to hear stories in the media about a potential new coronavirus. It was stated to not be a threat, even called a hoax. We were told we need not worry. It was not until the regularities of social life were disrupted when the fear and threat of uncertainties began to set in. We knew little about the behavior of this virus. We relied on projection models of transmission and mortality that have made many assumptions of the known unknowns and unable to account for the unknown unknowns. Government response has varied and has been clearly uncertain on how best and when to relax restrictions. We don't know when or if there will ever be a vaccine, and if there is, how much will it matter, or how often will we need it? Finally, we are all uncertain of what the world will be like once restrictions have been relaxed. All of these uncertainties and more create fear and anxiety for many. The fear of the uncertain has long been part of the human. During the Enlightenment, and adjudicating God was replaced with reason because of the fear of the uncertainties of nature and the universe. In other words, it was assumed that the more the human knows and is certain about, the more the human is able to control and not fear it. Thus, uncertainty was aligned with the unknown, fear, unreasoned, and uncontrollable. Throughout the MSSP program, you read various scholarly texts that spoke to various forms of certainties or sought to complicate or deconstruct those certainties. In fact, throughout the program, you learn how to examine and analyze various sources of documents and data in order to make sense of an uncertain world. You also learn that uncertainty is that stochastic function of unexplained variance in a regression model, where the marginal subject often exists. Finally, you also learn that policy necessitates certainty in definition, and as a result is built on exclusionary logics of difference, yet can contain modulating mechanisms to potentially handle or be responsive to a limited window of known unknowns, such as the "it's not if, it's when" scenario. As we face this world of uncertainties, I implore each of you to not fear it, but rather embrace the uncertain. Find comfort in the unknown and be excited by the transformative potential of the incalculable. Be open to and actively engage in the shaping of what you desire of social policy to become. If justice is indeed the incalculable, then we should be striving for the uncertain, even daring to imagine a social policy of the uncertain. In this moment of global disruption, social upheaval, and rapidly increasing inequalities, loss of employment and loss of loved ones, and intensified social precarity, if there is any time that you are needed, it is now. On behalf of Lauren Colby, Asa Halepalomeke, and the entire MSSP program, I wish you all a huge congratulations. We are so proud of you and cannot wait to see the transformative work that you are going to do in this world.
As this challenging and tumultuous academic year comes to a close, I want to congratulate each and every graduate of the Nonprofit Leadership Program on your achievements. You have persevered under difficult circumstances and mastered the skills and knowledge that will make you an effective agent for social impact in the world. Your careers may well span nonprofit organizations, government agencies, and private firms. No matter where you devote your talents, I know you will have an eye to making a difference. There are stones on the walkways of Penn's campus where Ben Franklin's famous aphorisms are inscribed. My favorite such Franklin saying is the following: "Well done is better than well said." This could be the motto for change makers and social impact leaders around the world. For when you get right down to it, what matters most is what you do, not what you say you will do. I urge you to take chances in your career, take on the most difficult and challenging assignments, and never shy away from a project, program, or initiative just because it looks too hard or because it might well fail. The work you have come to prepare to do at Penn is inherently complex, ambiguous, and very important. You are leaving Penn with a toolbox for change makers to help you get things done. We look forward to seeing what you accomplish, how you creatively interpret the charge to create social impact, and the positive contributions you will make to your communities. You've completed your degree, and you may well feel that your time at Penn is over. It need not be so. We really do welcome you to come back to campus at any time, and we hope you will stay in touch with us. You're part of a growing international community of change makers with a connection to Penn and a commitment to social impact. Together, you can, and I know you will, do great things. Good luck to you all, and best wishes to you in all your endeavors.
Greetings, fellow classmates, leaders, changemakers, fellow Quakers, family, and friends. The University of Pennsylvania has been around longer than the U.S. Yet even still, when I went to campus for student orientation, I knew we were going to make history. And not just because my program is the very first all-virtual master's program within the School of Social Policy and Practice. Not just because we would be the first ever virtual commencement. No, not that kind of history, a deeper kind. One that will resonate far longer into the future. Yet to understand our future, we must dig deep into the past. Yes, our history here was marked with milestones. In my studies, our cohort strategized how to allow to get Rico to speak in marketing when there was a requirement that everyone had to participate to get a point. Rico just couldn't get a word in. We created a WhatsApp group to allow us to lean on each other. Many days, it reminded us that assignments were due. Other days, we just said, don't ever give up. We celebrated a wedding, a birth of a baby, and a death. We served as peer coach, cheerleaders, and listeners. Several folks landed their dream jobs at universities, while others lost their jobs because of the pandemic. When I had a concussion, my classmates and professors were there to check on me and offer help. As much as I will never forgive the wayward couch that hit me in the head and gave me a concussion, I will always choose to honor my classmates. They were there with me every step of the way. That's our class history. Yet, let's talk about our greater university history. Penn was founded, of course, by Benjamin Franklin. He was a pioneer, a visionary, one of the first to create a university in the 13 American colonies. Penn was the first student union. It was also home of the first collegiate business school. Our university, the one we graduate from today, now in 2020, some 280 years after it was founded. Franklin fought hard to instill in this nascent nation the values of thrift, hard work, community, education, and self-governing institutions. These are values that ring true today, perhaps more now than ever. They're as American as apple pie and SEC football on Saturday. Go Tigers. Okay, go Quakers too. Here we are, a class unlike any other, a class that no one shall forget. How do we forge ahead? Our beloved SB2 has taught us so much. Our learnings, those values, they're human values. They're values that will be the compass that will lead us and be our true north towards a more prosperous, equitable, and compassionate tomorrow. No matter the university you graduate from today or your program, these are the very things that you'll need to lead the new world order. Our class is unlike any graduating class in history. And while we'll be more likely the first of many, all classes, all leaders have their own history to make. We certainly have ours ahead. As the class of 2020, we'll need to lead differently in a very different way, with empathy, curiosity, humility, with faith and fortitude to forge new paths for a brighter horizon. When we shape the future, we make history. We shape our future by establishing our intentions, having the courage and vision to believe in a better world, by creating every day and cultivating community to help us realize that vision and build that better world. Those are the things that connects us as SP2 grads and the things that will serve us as we serve others. So just like when I went to the White Dog Cafe with my classmates for student orientation and had a toast, I want to toast us again, but it's not going to be the last time. It's more than a toast, it's a charge. I charge you, fellow Quakers, to find it within yourselves, to lead kindly, lead differently, lead with a radically reimagined sense of spirit and what it means to lead through service. History remembers us not by what we make, but what difference we make in the world. Not by the time we find ourselves, but the time we devote to others. History remembers us by the future that follows us. Today we are that future. Tomorrow we create it. Let's create it in the image we desire, and the way forward these times demand, and the way our founders and ancestors could have never imagined, yet always hoped. Congratulations, class of 2020. Onwards and upwards.
It is my pleasure to congratulate the MSW graduates in the class of 2020. While we are not able to celebrate the special moment in person, it is still ever important to mark such a significant accomplishment. Commencement is an important ritual that allows us to reflect on the goals you have aspired to when you applied to the MSW program and to take stock of and celebrate your achievements. For many of you, you came to SP2 because you wanted to join the profession of social work, a profession that is dedicated to addressing social inequities, oppression, and enhancing the well-being of individuals in our local, national, and international communities. You decided to come to Penn because you could envision those goals being met through the in-class curriculum, field work, interactions with our esteemed faculty, dedicated staff, and student body, as well as opportunities across campus. When I read many of your admissions applications, a common theme, no matter what area of practice you wanted to pursue, was that you wanted to be leaders for social justice and also social change. What distinguished your decision to pursue social work over other professions was the underlying values of social work, which focus on ethical practice, a strengths perspective, and client empowerment and self-determination. Throughout your time in the program, you have been asked to re-examine and set new learning goals each semester in your practice classes and field placements. While there are standard goals for required competencies, each of you developed your own set of unique learning and professional goals in your individualized plans. By reflecting on your progress, setting your sights on new learning opportunities and areas for further growth. As I have met and talked with several of you in person, over the phone or by Zoom, the past couple of years, I am very proud and impressed with all that you have done during your time as students here in the MSW program. I have read some of your research proposals for independent studies that look like doctoral level work. I've heard about your amazing projects in your field placements and what you have done in a wide range of settings, including nonprofits, schools, criminal justice and healthcare settings, and in various types of community-based organizations. During the second half of this last semester, you have had to complete your degree requirements in the context of a global pandemic and face one of the world's greatest social, health, and economic challenges. This accomplishment cannot be taken lightly. While you have had to modify how you achieve your goals, you were still able to accomplish getting your MSW degree. We know that life can be unpredictable in ways we may never imagine. As you continue to set goals for your professional careers, see challenges as opportunities for innovation, creative thinking, and forging new alliances. You are venturing into a world with many uncertainties, but each of you are moving forward with a set of skills, knowledge, and values that will help you make lives better in this world. I wish you all the best as you pursue new goals and horizons. Again, congratulations to the MSW class of 2020.
On behalf of Dean Bachman, our distinguished faculty and staff, family and friends, it is truly an honor to have the privilege of addressing my peers, the School of Social Policy and Practice, class of 2020. Truthfully, I felt overwhelmed by the idea of reducing everything that we've learned to a speech. And I felt equally as overwhelmed by the gravity of making said speech in such grave times. However, I'd be remiss if I did not try. Inspired by an activity that Professor Greenfield had us complete at the end of our foundation year practice class, I decided to begin this speech by addressing who we were when we first entered this program, and those that will soon follow after us. Dear aspiring social workers, I cannot begin to describe what you are embarking on. This is not a journey for the faint of heart, nor for those fearful of addressing their greatest fears. It's the complete opposite. Amidst all of your experiences thus far, your journey through SB2 has the potential to be one of the most transformative ones of your personal and professional lives, if you allow it to be. While your passions, strong work ethic, and knowledge brought you here, your vulnerability, inquisitiveness, and humility are what will keep you. Though your security in knowing who you are and why you're here are truly admirable, I guarantee you that if you purposefully commit to this journey, you'll be challenged to consider otherwise. And while it may be tempting to settle into the comfort that you've grown to know, you would be doing yourself, but more importantly, those that you are destined to meet, a disservice. Because if you are not willing to decenter your own sense of understanding, then you have no right or reason to challenge anyone else's. Be open-minded, accepting, and patient with yourself. Find community and those that support you, but also challenge you to be more like who you're becoming. Be motivated, be inspired, be well, and always, always schedule your administrative time. As we complete our time here at SB2 and go on to follow our separate paths, I feel inclined to believe that those words are more imperative now than they were when we first arrived. Though we've endured great challenges and successes to achieve this recognition, we must remember that in order to fulfill our responsibilities in this field, we must constantly assess who we are when we enter it. Though our degrees are well earned and our work in and out of the classroom support that, it is imperative that we understand that our sacrifices are in vain if we do not use our access to promote further access for those without. Though we've garnered our passions and strengthened our purpose, we must remember to embrace the experiences, people, and environments that challenge us to remain humble, receptive, and dedicated. As we transition into the next phase of our lives, I leave you with the words of the talented Toni Morrison. The function of freedom is to free someone else. Your impact cannot stop at classroom debates, field placements, or social media posts. Your impact is not defined by your intent, but by your impression. Now, more than ever, the world will need the support of social workers. And you, the class of 2020, are famous social workers, as Professor Irving graciously calls us. It's your time. Be open-minded, accepting, and patient. Be motivated, be inspired, be well, and always, always schedule your administrative time. Thank you.
Congratulations, SP2 class of 2020.
Congratulations, SP2 class of 2020!
Congrats, SP2 grads!
Congratulations, SP2 class of 2020.
Congratulations, SP2 class of 2020. All the best for your next adventure.
Congratulations to the really special class of 2020.
Congratulations to all the fine graduates of SP2's class of 2020.
The entire admissions team wants to wish a congratulations to the class of 2020.
My heartiest congratulations to all of you. Well done.
Congratulations, SP2 class of 2020.
Congratulations, SP2 class of 2020.
Congratulations, SP2 class of 2020.
Congratulations to SP2's class of 2020. Woohoo!
SP2 class of 2020. Many congrats. Y'all have worked so hard. I'm so thrilled for you. I'm proud of you. Can't wait to see you get out there in the world and be great social workers. Congrats.
Congratulations to the 2020 SP2 graduates.
Hi, SP2 class of 2020. Congratulations to you all.
Congratulations, SP2 class of 2020.
Congratulations, SP2 class of 2020.
Congratulations, SP2 class of 2020.
Congratulations, SP2 class of 2020. I'm so proud of you, and I can't wait to see what great things you do in the world.
Congratulations, SP2 class of 2020. I'm sending all my best wishes, and I hope that our paths cross again.
Congratulations, class of 2020.
Congrats, SP2 class of 2020.
Congratulations and good luck to the class of 2020.
Congratulations, SP2 class of 2020.
Congratulations, SP2 class of 2020.
I want to congratulate you all on your graduation in these very unusual times. It's been a pleasure and an honor teaching you.
Congratulations to the class of 2020. Here's hoping that everything that you learned at SP2 will start by benefiting you and ripple out to others far and wide.
Congratulations, class of 2020. Remember, everything is everything, and if not you, who? Congratulations.
Congratulations, SP2 class of 2020.
Congratulations, class of 2020.
Wishing you all the best for 2020 graduation.
Congratulations, SP2 class of 2020.
Congratulations, SP2, you did it!